Hey there, Floris here. This is a little demo of the update to the spawn world at /spawn that I am working on for an upcoming 3.1 release of our server. There will be holograms instead of a lot of signs in the middle, and these holograms are interactable. So as they get closer, they will definitely load, and that way bots kind of get stuck at spawn a little bit. But as they move their mouse, they will get instructions. For example, left click to select a menu item. So they can read rules, and then they learn that there are rules, and there's a welcome book that they can read. The specifics and nitpicking of how things look is clearly going to change, but this is just a demo of how that menu could look like and how it would work. There's also read new player info and game time to start. Do you see the K at the end? I should probably remove that. But when they, besides hovering, actually click on something, it will sparkle, and then the command will show in the chat, and then they can still interact with the command if needed, and then at any time they can go back to whatever they were working on. So they can check the next one, and they can check the new player info, and they can also type new player if they want, and those things are clickable as well. So all of this stuff is going to get tweaked, but this is kind of how that works. And for pick a game type to start playing. When they do that, they get a nice little overview saying there's wild, click to RTP to the wild, start your island, and they can just click on it and they will end up on their island. So for cave, they can click on cave, and then in the wild, when they learn this stuff, they can still use all these commands. So that is pretty cool. Plot visit, Mr. Flores. 20? Nope. 19. There we go. This is the new spawn that I've been working on. I've done nothing but change the inside. I've started using newer materials to display what we have here, and use change to update, and lichen and other things to update the lanterns. I've changed some of the stuff on the walls. I've removed a bunch of dragon eggs, so there are not too many, and there's still a bit of variety. I've added new things in the pots here. I've removed 2 of these things because we are gonna have the actually this one shouldn't have been removed. We'll look into that. Oh no, sorry, that's the menu. Okay. I don't know why that's not loading. That's interesting. But these menus are here. Wait a minute. Why is that menu not loading? Well, of course, you record something and it stops working. There it is. I just had to refresh the thing. Yeah, so they can come back and they can go, okay, I remember the rules, and the command is /rules, and I can go through it. And otherwise, when they are here, they can have a like /menu, /worlds, /game types, other things that we had signs for at spawn. They will now be in an interactable menu, and we can do like a lot of things per page, but we can also say, see my hologram, sorry, the mic is in front of my face. We can also do next page and move this up, for example. And then let me fly out and in of the chunk again, because clearly that will help update it. There it is. So if we have multiple pages and we go to put next and previous next to it, then we can click on next and go to the next page. I have to move them right here. They're just quickly added, but As you can see, we will have multi-page support as well, and then they can click on something and go back to the first page. So we can have a hologram interactable menu that's a bit harder for bots to read and super easy for players at Spawn to read. Instead of the sign saying read all the signs, we now can say read all the server info, because that is both signs as well as holograms. I might purposely leave out new player as a command here, just in case the bots pick up from signs and interact with them. So the signs that were on these, I've merged them into these. So instead of team and Flores, now there is one sign that says 1MB team, Flores and team. And instead of having one sign for the server type and one for the version, now we have one sign with both of them. And that's the same for social. Instead of one for Discord and one for social, we now have one sign for both commands. And can I be staff and can I be in creative, two different signs, is also one sign. So those are still there. Oh my god, I'm sorry. But these hologram thingies are interactable and can have multiple pages, and we can make it show and do whatever we want, and players can learn how to use them by simply being active here, which I think is super handy. The other design things clearly is that the beacon that was moved outside is back and updated to something newer. We clearly need to change this, but hopefully this fixes a little bit. All these design changes fixes the little lag spike that we had at spawn. There are less things to trigger lag, and it looks a bit more modern and friendly. It looks more open, and they get guided, unless they're stubborn and they like maneuver right through here. But technically they get guided to get here and read the info. I don't know if this is going to stay on the right or the left, but I'm just figuring things out. So this is the moment for you, when you see this video, to give me feedback. What do you want to see? What don't you like? What do you like? Do you have any other further suggestions for me to work on this somehow? And yes, you can parkour over here. I hope that existing players will have fun exploring the spawn and learning about all the commands they might not know about, like chests and worlds and menu and shops and warps and kits. And new players, before they get that all to work, kind of have to go through the new player menu in order to get out of spawn. So it is possible that the default group might get all their permissions negated, and then anything that they do from this menu will bump them into the 1MB player group. So when they're a bot spamming, they're basically shadow muted and can't really do anything. They can't RTP until they kind of go through these menus. So how strict that's going to be, I'm not sure. We don't want to discourage people that don't read from being able to use the server, but we do want to discourage bots from just joining and flooding and doing all sorts of stuff. So hopefully we can find a compromise. Looking forward to some suggestions. I've made sure that I know where I have to select and paste. And then when we get to spawn, which is the old one. So this, by the way, the gold sign, the letters there, they're going to stay there. Where we're going to put them is not sure. But as you can see, these things are now Lycan. And this got removed. And this pillar got moved over here and redesigned. And instead of having 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13... 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23 signs that we don't need. we now have 2 holograms. So it's less data to load. And as you can see, I'm a bit more jittery over here because it's a bit more laggy. And we already fixed quite a bit. So the spike here that sometimes happens, oh, there was one, doesn't happen that much anymore. And that's a good thing. And hopefully with this spawn update, we take another spike when we cross borders away. And in 1.18.2, I do believe that Mojang also fixed a border thingy, which hopefully fixes another one of those spike moments. So expect the gold thing to come back, and that some signs might have different text on it. But technically, the spawn building is getting an update for the 1.18.2 or 1.19, I guess, at some point otherwise, where you will find these interactable menus. And now you know that you can tell players, read the signs or read the holograms or read the book in your inventory. So there's a few ways they can learn about the server and how the permissions behind it is going to update, or how exactly this type of text is going to be. I'm not entirely sure. I mean, there's still mentions of temporary worlds, but they're easy to edit because game type is just a text file, and the rules is just a text file. And